Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's episode of the Daughter Dearest podcast. I'm Simone Canego,
And I'm Olivia Canego.
and I have a question for the world. What's the hardest part about going back to school? So, on today's episode, Olivia and I are going to talk about the back to school process and the idea of letting go of summer. And it's actually even more than that because we're going to talk about I'm actually bringing her brother up to college on Thursday. So, there's a lot
Mhm.
about going back to school. But in addition to that, we're trying something new today. Olivia and I both have a segment that we're going to be adding into the show. Mine is called Freaky Florida, and Olivia's is called
Keeping up with the country. I was going to do something about New York, but unfortunately, all New York news is very, very sad.
well, I don't know of all of it, but we wanted to find like really ridiculous things that are
Yeah.
happening to kind
And
of
there are
like,
ridiculous stories in New York. It's just that a lot of them are like, wow, I cannot believe that's actually happening. Not like, oh my God, ha ha ha, that's so funny.
well, I don't know if my Freaky Florida one is ha ha ha, it's so funny. Anyways, okay,
Okay,
let's
you're right.
start
You're
let's
right.
start with
It's definitely
let's start
freaky
with
though.
going back to school. So,
Yeah. Hey, mom, guess
uh
what? It's my
yes,
last first day
it's your
on
last
August
first
30th.
day of college. How exciting is that?
So exciting. I don't even think I have class that day though.
Oh,
So
okay, so it doesn't
I don't
really
know. I
count.
think yeah, they do the schedule weird for the first week. I don't know why. Whatever.
Are you going to take a selfie?
I think my
Fair.
friend. I already asked my friends. I was like, I think we should do like a little photo shoot, guys. Like hold up little signs that are like last first day.
Yeah, I mean, I went into Trader Joe's and they have a sign you can use in Trader Joe's for your first
Oh,
day, and you
that
can
is
write your name into it.
hilarious. Well,
Yeah, I
maybe
thought
we'll
that
just
was
do a
really
photo
fun.
shoot in Trader Joe's though.
Yeah, not a bad idea. Yeah, so I mean, Millie's going into 10th grade, Noah's going into 11th grade, Ari's going off to
You know, I
college. He's going to
texted
have
Millie
his first
today.
first day of college.
Oh,
Yes.
that's exciting. I texted Millie today and I was like, when does school start? She goes, Wednesday. I was like, good luck. She's like, why do I need good luck? Is it hard? What is she like? Do you want me to wish you bad luck? I don't know what you want there, Millie.
It's like saying break a leg to her. She's like, "Do you really want me to break my leg?" No,
Yeah.
like good luck, not like you need
Yeah.
luck. It's just like an expression.
That's what you say.
But let me tell you, this is going to be a hard going back to school. So last night,
Don't get
guess
me
what
wrong.
happened? Well, first of all,
I actually don't know what happened. You didn't
I
tell
was
me.
gone. I know it wasn't that big of a deal, but I was gone
Oh.
for 16 hours. I flew into Boston, drove up to New Hampshire, had a speaking engagement, drove back to Boston, spent 6 hours in an airport hotel, got on a flight, and flew back to Tampa, and then drove back to Sarasota.
That's
So
impressive because I've slept longer than 16 hours before. So,
I got a lot done in those 16 hours,
yeah,
and I only carried a backpack. That was pretty impressive too,
that's even
right?
more impressive.
Yeah. Okay, but we're talking about back to school. So
Yeah.
last night, I have this app where I can, especially, well, it's only for Noah to make sure like he's not on his electronics all the time. Because if you don't kind of watch it, and then he won't get off of his electronics,
Yeah.
right? Like it's just constant. And so I wasn't home last night, so I didn't get to patrol. And so I look at it this morning, and yeah, he was on there until after midnight. And so I said to your dad, I was like, hey, like, he's like, no, at 9:30, I told him to bring it down. And so I asked Noah, and he said, oh, I didn't hear him. And I was like, okay, that is a flat out lie. That is a
That's a
lie.
good one though.
Yeah, I didn't hear him.
He
Well,
didn't even
except for
try to
the
elaborate. He was, I
yeah,
just,
well, he responded to him. So of course he heard him. Like, so you know what this means? He's got one more night before he goes back to no, two more nights, right? I mean, he's
yeah,
got okay, two
Monday.
more nights before he goes back to school. This is going to be a very hard re-entry.
I think it's going to be I don't know why, but I'm just feeling like this reentry is going to be a very, very hard one. And I've talked to, maybe it's because this is my last first day, but I think it's like all around. Like I've moved on with my life. Like I don't feel like a college student
You've
anymore.
moved on from college
Yeah.
as a you're
Yeah.
funny.
Like I feel like I just like, and a lot of my friends, they have the return offers for their jobs. So they definitely, I feel like they move on. Like we're just like here to finish it out and get the degree at this point.
Okay, so Olivia has big news. Olivia, what are you going to be doing? You finished your internship.
Yeah.
Yes, so you finished. You finished
I'm
strong. You
taking
got
the
it.
LSAT and
She
then
is
I'm
taking
applying
the
to law
LSAT.
school.
Oh, she's going to apply
So
to
it's not
law
my last
school.
first day, but it's my last first day of undergrad.
It's
And I just
very
think as the years
exciting.
go on with more school, it doesn't get as fun. It's more of like, oh my God, really?
It's more of a job. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
But
mean, the favorite first day is the first day of preschool or the first day of kindergarten. Like,
I
and then
saw
from
the
there
funniest
kind of
video,
goes
Mom,
downhill. Yeah,
of a
go.
little girl being like, "It's the first day of preschool or kindergarten," and she has one of those glitter poppers, and she can't get it open. And the minute she gets it open, it gets all over the dog. The dog walks by just as it bursts open.
Was she happy about it or was
Oh,
she
of
crying?
course.
Oh, okay. She thought it
He
was
was happy.
hilarious.
The mom was
Yeah.
like, "Oh my God, you did not just do that."
And you know what? You cannot get rid of glitter.
Nope.
Like it will
That dog will
just
be glitter the entire life.
and you'll find it everywhere. It doesn't
Yep.
matter. Like it glitter is just
I mean,
it is
yeah,
a
that
great I mean, I love glitter, but I don't love glitter. I love glitter like because it's so pretty, but not in the house. It just you find it. The other day, I took Millie to the doctor, and she had like a sparkle on her lip. I was like, "What is that from?" She's like, "I have no idea."
yeah, it
Like
literally just
it
shows up.
just yeah,
And
just
when's
randomly.
the last time anyone has done arts and crafts in their house?
Oh, it's been a while, so I
Yeah,
have no
we're
idea
kind
where
of past that
I don't
phase.
know where that glitter sparkle came from. Maybe first day of preschool. But
Literally.
okay, so going back to school, they have their classes assigned.
You know what, though? It must be easier when they're in high school because you don't have to do that list anymore. I always remember that we went to Target with the back to school list of like the 1,000 items that you need that you probably won't use. Like in college classes, I have a journal that I use for maybe half the semester and then forget about it in my computer.
But I'm going to disagree with you a little bit.
Oh,
So
interesting.
I kind of like the back to school list. I mean, not that it has so many items, but at least we know what they need because Millie is someone who is
Oh yeah.
very like organized. And so we went to Target and her and Emma are debating what she needs for class. And like they're going through and calculating like how many
That is
pages of
ridiculous.
paper she needs.
Yeah, that
And I'm just thinking, buy
like
a
me on the
notebook,
other
buy
hand,
a
I
damn
only have
notebook. Who
yeah,
cares?
I have Sharpies and then the pen colors I have right now, I have no pencils. I have a red pen and a green pen and a half-used notebook, and that's what I'm using for this semester.
Okay, well that works. But
Yeah.
and then I get an email today from one of the teachers saying, "Oh, I'll be posting soon the back to school list." Well, school starts in 2 days.
Yeah,
Like
what?
why are we posting it
The sales
after?
are
Like,
already up. The minute like yeah.
it's like there's barely anything left in Target. Like you
I
can't
know
find
people start
anything.
early. It's insane.
Well, the public schools already went back to school last week here, so there's
Oh,
just
that's
nothing
a whole
left in there.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean they got to
Apparently
use
they're
last year's
yeah.
pencil case. Like it's all ragged
Oh
and torn, but
no.
yeah, well,
That was
too
such a
bad.
weird thing I will say about growing up is that I had a new backpack every year.
Yeah, you know what? Millie and Noah do as well because they destroy it. Maybe that shows like they like Noah's backpack by the end of the year. So same with Millie's. It's like 50 pounds. So there's holes all over it.
Yeah, and
Ari,
I don't know
Ari, not
when
so
that
much.
stopped.
Yeah, Ari,
Like
Ari, Ari doesn't.
I've had the same
Ari's
backpack
used the
now since
same
like
one
freshman year.
yeah, Ari's used the same one through all of high school because
Oh,
he
that's
doesn't carry
commitment.
he doesn't carry very
I
much.
would just like rip.
Well, he doesn't carry very much, therefore it doesn't
Yeah,
rip.
I don't carry
There's the
very much anymore
difference. Yeah. I
either.
mean,
Once you get to I get maybe this is just a New York college thing, but once you get to the college classes, no one even uses a backpack. I use a backpack, but literally, like, I'll be in class. I'm the only one with a backpack. Everyone else has like their big, like, honestly, like designer bags, totes.
oh really? They bring a
That
big
go
tote with this
like, or
stuff?
the big like Louis Vuitton Neverfulls, or like
Hmm.
and I think that has to just be a New York City thing.
I was gonna say, I know I'm old, but when I went to college, we carried backpacks. So
Yeah, it's
and then it,
convenient. My back hurts. Like,
yeah, and
or when I have it on one shoulder, oh, it is exhausting.
yeah. So we went. So like I said, we went to Target, and Noah could care. He couldn't care less. He could care less. I
I
always
still
forget
don't know
which
the
way to say
saying.
it. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll just
He
have to
didn't.
think too hard.
He doesn't care. Let's say that he doesn't care. So
Of course he doesn't.
I was like, okay, I'm going to get him two 5 section notebooks, whatever, And now they have these fancy things where you can move the dividers around. So,
What?
oh yeah, it's so fancy. And then mechanical pencils, and then regular pencils. And we don't need pens because every time I go somewhere, I take the pen. So
Yeah,
whether I'm staying at a hotel or go to a winery, I take the pen. So I have about like 75 pens in my drawer
yeah.
right now. We do
As
not
you
need
should,
any
though.
pens. Yeah, well, again, if you're gonna pay money for a hotel room, you should be able to take the 25
Yeah,
cent pen home with you. I kind of feel that way. I don't feel like it's stealing. I feel like it's just part of the bundle.
complimentary.
Hmm. Yeah, just like the water that doesn't have the price tag on it. So we got their stuff, we got their backpacks. Millie's is completely organized and packed. Noah still, I just put all the stuff from Target in there. It looks exactly the same. It might even have some pimple patches in there because I just shoved everything in there. So he kind of has to clean that out before school starts. Um, and then lunches. I mean, let me tell you, I've never been a good lunch packer. I
No,
think
I
this
will
is,
completely contest to that. Like, we were not the kind of kids that, those moms now, you see the bento boxes and they're
oh,
cutting their kids' fruit into every shape. Like, mom, you weren't even good at making sandwiches, to be quite honest with you. I think I stopped packing
ouch.
lunch in like seventh grade.
Well, that was kind of harsh and painful, but I don't disagree with you. I don't know why, but I hate making lunches. And yeah, I was never good at it. Maybe I didn't have the right containers. Let's just blame it on that.
Okay, sure.
But no, it was like not a, I don't know, whatever. Like peanut butter sandwich. There we go. Peanut butter sandwich, put some
Oh, but
fruit in there.
can they have peanut butter in schools?
Mm, at this school, they can.
Okay.
But honestly, they don't even like to bring stuff from home. They, well, Noah does. Noah brings his snacks, right? Because he's not never hungry for lunch. He'll
Yeah,
just
and I
bring
never,
some
well, that was me as
crackers.
well. I was never hungry for lunch, so I would always get like a Smart Pop and an apple, and then when you
Yeah.
get home, you have your lunch.
But the problem is they have access to the cafeteria
Oh,
like
and their
for their
cafeteria is
breaks.
expensive,
Well, and they go in and then they
like
buy a water
Starbucks
and then they
expensive.
yeah, and then they buy some crackers and then they buy a smart water and then they buy like and I'm like you just spent $9 on nothing. Okay, you cannot do that. Like $9 every day of the month? No, thank you.
Yeah,
Maybe I should start making the peanut butter sandwiches.
you learn that lesson once you start paying the $9 by yourself on like your own college card, and you're like, oh my God, I'm out of dining dollars. Although that never happened to me because COVID. It was
Yeah,
just like our
your
dining,
cafeteria
whatever.
sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the time. I mean, no offense to Fordham, but yeah, at the time
Oh,
it was not
yeah,
good.
I think they know.
I think the whole world knows because people posted about everything
Oh
just like they
yeah.
do these days. Um, so I'm not really looking forward to it. It's kind of fun. Like when you guys were little, like I was like, "Yay, first day of school, get them out of the house." No offense, but
No,
true.
I get that.
Um, but now
But
it's
now it's
like
kind of a
first day of
hassle.
school. Oh, now I got to drive 45 minutes and drop them off. And I mean, I sound like a whiny mom, but there's a lot that goes into this now. It's not like it's just not like you get on a bus and you go to school. It's a big time commitment for my kids to go back to school. And I guess
Yeah.
I'm complaining about it, but it's good for them, right? We're in high school. We're getting close to the finish line. And Millie's really excited and Noah doesn't care. He's like,
Yeah. It's
"Oh,
like,
school's starting. Great, school's starting." But I think it's going to be a good year. I think they both have good classes, and then we'll see when we come back from my Freaky Florida segment. We'll talk about Ari going off to college because that's going to be a whole different ball game.
yeah.
Okay, so my Freaky Florida segment. So this is something that we're going to start doing where we talk about something. For me, I'm going to talk about some kind of crazy story in Florida, and there has been for a long time they had something called the Florida Man, right? And they
Yeah.
like all these crazy stories about like, the Florida Man, he jumps in the water, he gets, attacked by the alligator. He all of these kind of ridiculous things that you don't hear in other states. So today, I want to say I did some research and I found enough that I could actually do a whole year of podcasts about ridiculous stories in Florida.
That's
But
funny.
this one, it was not hard actually to find these. This one kind of stuck out to me. And the reason it really, maybe that's a horrible way of saying it, the reason I thought this was ridiculous is that wasn't just reported locally. Now this I picked this story because it happened in Sarasota. And it wasn't just reported locally. It was like national news. Okay, so
It's so
here's
funny when that happens.
here's the headline. Manatee dies of injuries from sexual encounter with his brother at Florida aquarium. That is the headline. Okay. So,
And this Florida Aquarium, like the national one, or like,
no,
or
he
not
died
the
at
like the
Moat
state.
Marine.
Oh, like Mo. Oh my God. So
Yeah.
I saw
Our
these
local
manatees.
Yes. So this I mean this Okay, a manatee who died in a Florida aquarium this year sustained fatal injuries caused by sex with his brother, officials said.
Oh my
Hugh.
God.
Hugh was 38 years old. Hugh the manatee. He died unexpectedly April 29th at the Moat Marine Laboratory in Sarasota, which this week shed more light on the animal's passing, saying the injury was most likely the result of sex with his brother, Buffett. Sorry, Hugh and Buffett. Moat insisted that Hugh's handlers never believed he was in any danger. And I
What?
guess there was heightened mating behavior that was witnessed between the two of them. But what they did was they tried to distract them and like instead of like separating them because they thought if they separated them that it would be very stressful for them, that they would be completely anxious if they separated the two brothers. But it said that they performed a necropsy by the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, and they found that there was a fatal wound that was 14.5 centimeter long tear in the ventral wall of his colon. I'm sorry, I shouldn't laugh about it because it's sad that he died, but it's just fascinating that this is national news. So yeah, so big news is that Hugh died because his brother Buffett had sex with him, and therefore it cut a hole in his colon that was 14.5 centimeters. What do you have to say about
There's
that?
so many questions there. Like, I don't even know where to begin, honestly. Like, why did that kill him, I guess?
Well, we can only assume if the injury was 14.5 centimeters, there was something big happening there.
Yeah,
I
like
mean, let's just leave it at
first of
that.
all, I could not tell you how big a centimeter is, so I don't know how to picture that in my head. Um, I'm an inches person, and I still probably couldn't even tell you how big an inch is, though. So, whatever. Just, but
Well,
wow.
the fact that that happened, I think that is pretty substantial. And they said in an effort to redirect the manatee's attention and decrease undesirable behaviors, animal care staff used positive reinforcement tools such as high value rewards and enrichment that had previously been successful. So they thought they could separate them by, I don't know, giving them treats. I don't really know. And then later that day, they just found him at the bottom of the pool.
Oh,
Like,
I was thinking he would float for some reason.
no, I think I mean, well, I guess fish float when they die. I don't know. They said they
I
found
have
him at
no
the bottom
clue.
of the pool. I
I
don't
mean,
really
yeah,
know either.
I'm not going to question it.
But it says that if there are not enough females around or there are only males around, they may express that sexual behavior or whatever individual may be in the vicinity. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah,
You know what? You would never picture manatees to be like a sexual being.
I know. I just think of them as, the gentle sea cows, not one that would like, you know, have sex with the brother enough to kill him.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, anyways, that was the thing that stuck out to me this week in Florida. And it didn't happen this week, but there was a lot of news around it again. I guess the news actually happened, a couple of weeks ago, but we were in Sweden, so I kind of missed it. Although your sister said that she even read about it while we were in Sweden. She was like, "How is this a thing?" And I was like, "It's a thing on every news channel." That was
It's
NBC News that I
hilarious.
just read
Oh,
from. USA Today. I mean, it's all over the place that, Hugh died by Buffett. Hugh was killed by Buffett. It's very sad.
it's very sad.
Yeah, but
Also, it
that's
seems
one of
probably
this.
preventable. So bad on Moat.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, I know
Yeah, I guess
nothing
you
about
can't really predict
manatees.
wild animal behavior.
Yeah, and if they thought that by separating them they would make them more anxious, you can see why they didn't
Yeah,
separate them. But
I get it.
okay, so that's my freaky Florida story for this week, and let's go back to what we were talking about before, and then you can go on to your story.
Yeah, I
Um,
know.
so yeah, so we are
It's your first
Ari.
college move in a while.
Yeah, Ari is
You
heading
moved,
off to
yeah.
college,
You moved
and
me
this
in sophomore year, and but like junior and senior year, like, I've been living in the same apartment. So
I moved you
y'all
in
didn't.
freshman year.
Freshman,
Hello.
yeah, but freshman was like 2 minutes of moving. Thank God you did. But it
Well,
wasn't like a full move in like Ari's about to get.
right, but I still had to stay. Well, I had an even more difficult move in because I had to stay with you a week before
Yeah,
in
2 weeks.
isolation before we could get there.
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
That
It's
was a great two
crazy.
weeks.
It really was, honestly. It was just like we disconnected from everybody. Like dad had to deal with the rest of the kids. We were
I
just
know.
chilling.
I was just working on my book and relaxing, and you were cooking dinner. It was really pretty fantastic.
Honestly, it
We
was
had
really
nothing to
nice.
do. Yeah. And then you went to college. And yeah, I didn't really get to set up your room. I got to go up there for a little bit, and that was the end of it.
It
But
was fine. Like,
this one is a big deal because we are
you have a busy day
driving.
that day.
Well, it is a busy day. So Ari is finally getting his pin out of his wrist. So he had surgery to repair the scaphoid lunate ligament that he tore in his right wrist. And so they went in, they repaired it, they stuck a pin in there. He's been in a cast, which they take off every 4 weeks, but this is his third cast. And so the cast is going to come off and the pin's going to come out. They have to take him to the OR to do it. And literally, he's going to wake up. We're going to get in the car and we are going to drive to North Carolina, which is about a 12-hour drive. So I'm going to say it's not going to be one of my favorite days
You
because
download a audiobook? Yeah, you
I
should. Now you have all those Kindle, you have all those
I know
credits.
you're right. I should do that. And Ari can wear his headphones. All honestly, he'll be passed out for most of the ride, anyways. Um, and then we're actually spending the night with your brother,
Yeah, I was gonna ask you,
Jacob.
seeing him?
Yeah. Oh, of course.
Staying at his
Yeah.
place?
Yeah, we're staying with him.
Oh, nice.
So, as long as we're not getting in too late, I feel bad if I'm going to show up at midnight. Um,
Why?
I don't know.
You gave
Probably
birth to
still going
him.
to show up anyways. Yeah, I know you're right.
Yeah.
I'm just going to show up. So Thursday night we'll stay at Jacob's. Friday morning we go do physical therapy. His Ari's first physical therapy appointment in High Point. I just set that up today, so he's going to get his wrist checked
Woo!
out. Yeah, I'm getting all these things like in order, and then we move in. He's got a move in time of 1 p.m. And so we're literally loading up his car. I sent a bunch of stuff to school already, but loading up his car with everything and then
You know
driving
what?
and moving it
Not
in.
moving in. So I moved into my apartment at the end of sophomore year. So I haven't done like a move in 2 years now. It is so nice.
To not have to redo
Oh yeah,
stuff.
to not have
Yeah.
to pack up my entire life right now and just like haul it from one apartment to the other. It is so nice, like so stress free.
Yeah, I agree. It's one of those hard things I kind of feel like, but I get it that each year they switch dorms because, like, what if you didn't have a good experience in your dorm? But what if you did?
Exactly.
Maybe they should give you the option of staying if you liked it. I'm curious if people
Uh,
would stay. I don't know.
yeah, I don't honestly know. High Point has really nice dorms, so you know what? He should try. They have tiny houses. You see that?
Yeah, I saw that too. They
Oh,
have
he
all
should try
kinds
to
of
get one of
cool
those.
stuff.
I know.
Yeah.
Fordham does not. Fordham, or I mean, the other campus probably does. I don't know. We had two dorm buildings. They were fine.
I think like your first couple of years you should really have a roommate.
Oh, I completely agree.
And his first year he has a roommate in his room. And
Yeah, I
then
did too. In my sophomore year, I had my own room, but I shared an apartment, so similar to now.
yeah. And I think it like gives you these great skills like learning how to live with another person in your room, right? I mean, like that's
Yeah.
huge. And
And like Ari never did the summer camp experience. So he doesn't like it's kind of interesting the first time you have to fall asleep in a room where someone else is trying to fall asleep, I guess. It's
well, I
it's
mean, he
very
slept over at
weird.
his friends many
But
times and
it's
friends have
like
slept over.
different.
I know, because
It's
it's like
weird.
you
Because
can't get
it's
away from it.
yeah, it's not like a daily sleepover. It's okay, I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
Hopefully
I
you do
mean,
too, so you turn the lights off.
even the other night, Ari went out and he Ubered home at 2 o'clock in the morning because he wasn't happy with the sleeping situation. And I'm
Oh my
thinking,
God.
okay, how is this going to go? But let's
Yeah.
hope for the best. Let's
You
hope
know
that
what?
it is going
That's
to
a good
be.
personality trait to have because it'll mean he'll stay out of trouble.
Yeah, no, he does pretty much stay out of trouble. He's really good about that. But it's just going to be an interesting adjustment for him. I mean, I think it was for all of you guys, but
Yeah, just looking back now, I like can't remember how hard it was, but it was definitely like very hard. I know I struggled a lot during the first 2 months. Just, I mean, not only did I enter during COVID, I didn't like enter making the best friends. It took me a while to find my people.
mm,
And I think that honestly is the hardest part about college is you're just in such a new place. You don't have your parents to like go home to at the end of the day. So if you don't get any socializing in, you don't get any socializing in.
yeah. You also struggled. I mean, you had a very nice roommate. I liked your roommate, but then the girls in the room next to yours, like that shared a bathroom, that was like
Oh my
complicated.
God.
Yeah. So, Ari's going to have a lot of choices because he's in an 8-person suite. So it's 4
Yeah.
bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and like a family room area. And so he has a guy that he's sharing the room with, but he doesn't have to be your best friend. You guys just have to be respectful of each other. That's what
Yeah.
I tell him. And
But
then,
I do think that's the difference between girls and guys though, because guys realize that, or maybe girls do as well. But in my experience, all of my girlfriends, they try to become best friends with their roommate. And that's not always the best decision. It's honestly sometimes easier to not be friends with the person you're living because you can set these like harder boundaries into
boundaries. Yeah.
place.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's true. I was not successful with, I mean, I only had roommates my first year and it was not
Yeah.
good. But I would say that at least, I think for Ari, at least he's got some choices. So, like, if he's not like really great with the guy that he's in the room with, there's 6 other guys in the
Yeah.
dorm. And so, hopefully, within that group, he's going to find at least one person that he likes to hang out with and then go from there. There's all these things. It's funny because when you get to campus, you have all these choices. And I think it gets a bit overwhelming. Like, oh, you can try this club or you can try this sport or you can. And then sometimes I think like, you're like, I'm not going to do any of it.
Yeah.
Like,
I
how much?
honestly, yeah, I'm not involved. And granted, once again, like I started during like a weird year, but I'm involved in very minimally on campus.
Do you think that's like to your detriment? Like, do you think like it would have been better to do more or you think it was
I would
fine?
have probably been, I would have expanded my social circle. And I just got lucky. Like I made a friend through my class who then we just stuck together and made the rest of our friends together. But I think like socially wise, I would have met a bunch more different people. I mean, in resume wise, it looks good, but like I also like made that effort outside of school to have stuff on my resume. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I know when I went to college, again, I know I'm ancient, but I didn't do enough on college. I mean, the one thing I did that was something that I really enjoyed was I was part of the equestrian team. So that was great, but I didn't,
did you recruit for that or did you walk on? Or was it
it was,
competitive like that?
no, it
It was
was not
like ranked?
competitive. It was like
Did they rank them though?
no,
Like
not
okay.
at the time, Florida was not, I don't know what if they are now, but some of the schools are NCAA, right?
Yeah,
Their
that's okay.
equestrian teams are. UF was not. We would compete against NCAA
But
teams.
you didn't have that.
Um,
So that kind of takes the pressure off of it. And I think like sports is such a great thing in college, but oftentimes it adds more stress than it adds fun because I mean it takes away from other social opportunities that you could have.
Yeah, I agree. And I was looking at some of the emails that they send to both of us, both Ari and me, and it's like all about fraternities. Like there's he can go to like the different information sessions, and
Mm-hmm.
I kind of want him to take a look at all of this stuff and kind of make a decision if does this stuff interest him instead of just saying
Yeah. Nah,
I'm
I'm
out,
good.
I'm good. But how do you know you're good unless you try it? I mean, I'm
Yeah.
just as guilty. Like, so, I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
saying,
I mean, I don't think any of the older, I don't think any of us were very involved on campus. I mean, Emma, surprisingly, no offense, Emma, surprisingly the most.
yeah, because she did that job that really
Yeah.
got her with the events and stuff. So that was good.
But I'm on Dean's Council, but that's because I'm super smart. So,
Oh, way to go talk about yourself. You're really funny.
no, he just, I mean, like the one committee that I'm on at school, the dean chose me to be on it. Like I didn't apply or anything. I just got an email. So
Good for
I
you.
guess, like
No.
I know I'm involved in academic programs and not involved in like clubs, I guess,
Yeah.
which is
And
probably to my detriment in a little
yeah, I
bit.
was gonna say, did you ever really explore them?
Yeah, but it was COVID. Who wants to join a club
Yeah,
online?
I know. I know. It's different now. So I really hope that he will kind of try. Now, I'm telling you things are going in the right direction because I said to him today, I was like, I need you to start getting all your stuff ready to pack. I have those big, those big
Yeah.
bags to pack stuff in. We're not doing suitcases this time.
Oh.
And he's like, "Oh, I laid a lot of my clothes out already on my couch to pack up." And I was like, "Oh, okay, that's a good start." Like he's
Yeah.
actually like thinking about it. So instead of, I mean, we only have 2 more days.
I know. I
So
was
like,
about to say.
we only have 2 more days, but it's like when we pack for a trip, we pack in about 3 minutes. We know
Yeah.
what we have, we put it in a bag, we go. Um, And I think most things, like I ordered all the big stuff that he needed from Amazon. I've already all of his bedding's already in a bag. So it really is his clothes. And then if he wants to take any video game stuff, like that's the kind of stuff he's got to think about. But it's a sad moment for me because now I'm down to two kids in the house and like that's a third of what I used to have. So it is very going to be very quiet around here. Not boring because they're still fun to be with, but it's you know, it's sad. So for all you parents out there that are listening to this, it's hard when your kids go back to school. It's hard when your kids go off to college. Like there's so many parts to it and understanding that everybody has to do this that has kids. It's just part of life. I had friends say, I don't know how you've done this so many times, and I said, you understand that your kids are going off into this amazing experience that's going to make them even better humans. And it's going to be like something really rewarding for them. So yes, we struggle as parents because we don't want to say goodbye. We don't want to let them go. Sometimes we want to push them out of the house, but we don't really want to let them go. But it's still it's a hard thing to then come home and say, I remember when your oldest brother went off to college and I was like so upset at first. I would just go lie on his bed.
Oh my God, that's
I know.
insane. I didn't know that.
I know. Yeah. And Rob's like, you think you're going to be okay? I was like, I'll be just fine. I'll be just fine.
First one, though.
That's the first one. The first one is the hardest. And after that, you're like, oh, they still come back. And actually, they're much cooler after they leave,
Yeah.
They're much better humans after they leave. Yeah. Okay, girl, your turn.
Okay. Well, I have two.
So you got to speak into the microphone, my friend.
Okay. Okay. Oh, I turned it. That's my issue. I have two today. So I saw this.
What are we calling your segment again?
Keeping up with the country.
Keeping up with the country.
Is that funny or no?
I like it. Keeping up with the country. I like it.
Okay. I think you'll find this one funny. So the headline on this is Woman Sues Italy allegedly slipped on a piece of prosciutto.
Okay, that's a pretty good one.
It's exactly what it sounds like. New Hampshire woman, she is suing Italy and Italy is a specialty Italian grocery store. They have them a couple of locations throughout the country.
They even had one in Sweden.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah,
outside of the country.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So she's suing Italy. Allegedly, she slipped on a piece of prosciutto and fractured her ankle. Now, you get to the point. Is that something that you want to publicly admit?
That you slipped on a piece of prosciutto?
Yeah. Well, and that you fractured your ankle?
Well, because it's a money-making thing. Did you see also, like, related to this? That and it's not related exactly to this, but in my research about crazy things in Florida, a kid was burned by McNuggets from McDonald's.
And that's just exactly like the McDonald's.
It's like the coffee.
I studied that actually, and they were completely liable.
Yeah. Well, they were liable for this too because a Florida judge just awarded this person $800,000.
They would learn their lesson. Oh, I don't think she's going to get this
$800,000 for hot nuggets.
This woman is suing for damages that could exceed $50,000.
Well, could exceed.
Yeah, I mean, I think they'll probably just end up settling.
Yeah.
But I thought that one was a little silly.
Yeah. I guess I could see how you could slip on a piece of prosciutto, but I don't think I'd want to tell people about it.
I would never. Oh my God. Like, it's a little bit funny, but like, imagine you're like in this boot because she fractured her ankle. You're in the boot, and then you have to tell people, "Oh, I slipped on a piece of prosciutto."
Do you think you would make up a different story? I mean, I kind of think I would make up a different story. Like,
probably just I tripped and fell.
No, like something cool. Like I was saving a child in the water.
People would not believe me, Mom. I trip over nothing.
You're right. They wouldn't believe you. That's true.
Do you want to hear my other one?
Yeah, I want to hear your other one.
So Jack sent me this one. This one is really good. Bots are better than humans at cracking "Are you a robot?" CAPTCHA tests. Study finds. So those little.
Oh my gosh! Are you kidding me?
Yeah, and there's data on this. So they. In a study, scientists reviewed over like 200 of the most popular websites that still use the CAPTCHA, and Humans take about 9 to 15 seconds to solve with an accuracy of 50 to 84%, while robots take less than a second to crack them with up to near perfection with like a 96% accuracy.
So are they going to change them?
I like what I don't even know. At this point, it's just like let the robots take over.
Well, you're not wrong. So it's funny because I was doing one of them the other day. I'm logging into
They're
something and it's like,
hard.
yeah, and they're hard. And sometimes it's like, is that a bridge? Is that not a bridge? I can't really see it.
Exactly.
And then you get to the end and like you click it all and then it makes you do another one. And then they
Yeah.
give you the letters. And the letters are never like in horizontal fashion. They're all over. So you don't know which one should go first. So I can see why bots get it.
Yeah,
It's
that
funny. The
like
whole point is to get
the whole exactly
to
the whole
avoid
point
bots.
is to avoid bots because and the claims they were making in this article were kind of whack of like what robots can do. And I guess like they can like steal information, redo sites, whatever. It was just more of those things that's like this nuisance for humans is actually not working at all. Let's just get rid of it. Oh man, that's the second one today.
The what?
Cop cars racing outside my
Oh,
window.
I can't hear it.
Okay, good.
Oh, and other good news in Florida, we had rain at our house today.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yes, we
Is
have
it
not
good
had
news though?
rain here for
You're
I don't
you're
know, a
saying it's good
month.
news now, and then it's like 2 weeks from now, you're gonna be in the first hurricane of the season.
Well, it's going to be bad when a hurricane hits, considering
Oh,
the water temperature is 98 degrees in the
one,
ocean.
they have a new hurricane category. They
Called
go up to
Florida.
category. No, they had go up to category 6 now instead of 5.
No, I was going to say it's category 6
And how
Florida.
crazy! I was like talking to someone, they were like, "I had no idea." I was like, "Yeah, you never had to deal with hurricanes growing up."
Yeah, it's whatever. We had rain. I'm
Crazy.
happy about that.
Yeah,
So, I mean, that's not a
as you
crazy.
should be.
So, okay, let's finish up our back to school segment.
Yeah,
It's so what do you think it's going to be like going off to law school then? I mean,
I'm
you got this last year
very
and then
excited.
okay,
I'm
that's
very
good.
excited to be in a learning environment where everyone wants to be there. And like
Mm.
you would think college, it's like that as well. But a lot of times, college is like, it's the next step in life. You have to do this to get the better paying job. But like, there are easier ways to make money than law school. So I'm excited to be in an environment where everyone wants to be there and everyone wants to learn. And you have to participate in order for your grades to be like decent.
Because you're saying usually you're the one participating and nobody else is.
Uh huh.
Yeah.
Because it's so awkward when the teacher asks a question and then I'd be like, I've already talked like 15 times in the class and no one else is saying anything for like 5 minutes. So I already know the answer.
So you answer. And
Yeah,
does
I
the
do.
teacher love you for it?
Yeah, that's honestly like my life hack when I talk to college students because I have to do like an orientation session every year is that participate in your classes. It's the easiest way to make up your grade.
Well, you know what? I think it's also good because then the teacher knows who you are. So when
Yeah.
you have to go ask for a recommendation, you're not the kid sitting in the back of the room that's never spoken before and they're like, "Who are you? Are you in my class?"
Hmm.
They know who you are. So, yeah, I like that. I appreciate that.
Yeah. I mean, and I think they do as well because it's like, how many classes do you have a day where no one speaks? Thank God this person is speaking.
Yeah, I think that happens in a lot of places, like not just with teaching, but even like as a speaker and you're talking and you ask questions or you like even yesterday I was like if anybody has any questions afterwards I'm happy to answer and nobody asked me anything and then of course I sit down and everybody at the table they're asking me questions. They're just
Yeah,
afraid to ask in front of other people.
I
And
think,
like
and
we're grown adults and
some of it
still
is
scared to
definitely
ask that.
fear, but I feel like in college classrooms, it's literally because people aren't paying attention.
They're too
And
busy
granted, like
playing.
I'm not the best at paying attention, but like I still have like one ear open. So when she asks a question or he asks a question, I like have the answer.
Well, do you think because you are like more focused on like having to answer because you don't think anybody else is going to answer, you're going to pay more attention?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Which I mean, it
Yeah.
helps to for me. I'm paying attention in class now.
Yeah. Huh. That's good. That's not now you
Yeah.
know how to do it.
Advice of the day is pay attention. People like literally in every aspect of life, people respond better when you answer not what or like ask a follow-up question or like respond with something meaningful. It's like the easiest thing to do, honestly.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited for you.
I'm excited for me too.
And now that
Hopefully.
you're in LSAT, when's the first one?
September 8th, all registered and everything.
Okay.
I know.
You're gonna kill it. You're gonna slay it.
I hope
What do you
so.
say? What are your words that you
I feel like
use?
slay.
Slay. You're gonna slay.
Yeah, it's gonna go great. I'm a little stressed, but honestly, like significantly less stressed than I was for the SAT. That felt like life or death for some reason. And honestly, this doesn't.
That's really funny. And now, like the SAT, I mean, yes, for a lot of people, it's really important, but I don't, you know, I we'll see. I don't think Noah's going to be using the SAT or
You know what's
ACT.
funny? Some
Hmm.
of these Morgan Stanley and I think JP Morgan, a couple of those big firms, they require you when you apply to put your SAT or ACC score on your application.
Seriously,
How weird is that?
what if you
I
go
was
test optional?
I have like I think that's going to be a big thing in the future is what do you yeah, like I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. That's fascinating. I
Yeah,
mean,
interesting
what
thing
is
to think
that?
about.
I mean, yeah.
Literally
What does
exactly
that
though because like
matter?
seniors in college are mostly the people applying to this job and seniors in college, some of them probably took their ACT, SAT, their junior or yeah, they're the
Maybe
junior
even
year
their
of high
sophomore
school.
year. It
Yeah.
depends. Yeah.
So it's like that is so irrelevant to who I am as a person now.
Yeah, you are not even close to the same person that you were when
No.
you were taking those tests. Remember the one
Like,
that you took that I sat there waiting for you so that we could fly. Where were we
yeah,
going?
and
Yeah.
to New York.
Yeah, we were going to
So
New
I
York to
think
look
to
at
tour
schools.
Fordham.
Yeah, and she had to take the
It was so
test
stressful.
and we when she finished we had 30 minutes to get to the airport and so literally I sat there waiting and I'm like okay you got to be done in like 5, of course she's in the test, I'm not telling her anything, but I'm like oh my gosh she's got like 5 more minutes and then we're going to miss the flight, and then all of a sudden she magically appeared, we made it to the flight, she saw Fordham and she went to school there. End
Yeah.
of story.
And it was so stressful for no reason. Like I tried to improve my score and I did. I improved it by like 30 points, but like those 30 points really matter today.
Yeah, you wonder, right? I mean, again, I see with your brother not using a test to get into school that how much more relaxing that process was. I mean, that testing process, and again, this will
It
be the
was the
last thing I say
worst
for
part.
today. It's very stressful. It makes you feel horrible about yourself.
Exactly. Because even with my score, I was like, I'm not good enough. And I had a relatively good score.
Yeah. I mean, it's a hard thing. Okay,
I'm
so
glad I didn't.
Our time's up for today. Tell me
Yeah.
your
Okay. I don't think it's the best one today because when I read it this morning, I was like, oh, that's not what I want to hear. But
okay, so
sometimes it's not what you want to hear.
here's her calendar piece for the day.
You've been living on autopilot for most of your life. What would it look like to be able to recognize and turn that off, to wake up to your life, to feel fully alive? I was like, oh my God, it's kind of deep. I feel like I'm
Yeah.
getting off autopilot with this decision.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I don't think like it's a bad one. I think it's a good one. I think a lot of times it's like anything else. We go through our lives just going from point A
Going
to
through the
point B
motions.
and
Yeah.
not realizing that we're missing out on so many things just by completing the tasks and instead of like enjoying the moments, right? It's about
Yeah.
enjoying the journey. So I like that one. I think that's a good one.
Okay.
Okay,
This morning,
takeaways. I'll go.
it was a big shock to see, I will
Yeah.
say. First thing I saw was turn off autopilot. I was like, I just woke up. Jeez.
um, takeaways.
Back to school is unnecessarily stressful.
Yeah, that's for
And
sure.
participate in your classes because it'll make you stand out as a student and like the bare minimum, it'll help your grade. Every teacher, every professor, even in college, they look for participation.
Yeah, and for all the parents out there, again,
Yeah.
back to school is yeah, I mean, back to school and off to college, these are stressful times for us, We want everything to go so smoothly. And that's just not how life works. There's always bumps in the road and
And
enjoy the moments and when you're frustrated, just say I'm frustrated. Like this is
don't be
this is a hard
stressed.
day.
Yeah. Don't be stressed
Yeah.
about your kids growing up because honestly, they get better with age.
Yeah, they're kind of like wine. Well, some wines.
Yeah.
They're my kids are like fine wine, definitely getting better with age. I really like them as they get older. I
That
mean,
was funny.
not that I didn't like them when they were younger, but they're even more fun now. They're not as
Yeah.
cute. I mean, they're pretty. They're not as okay. I
They're
better stop
cute.
talking before I really dig
I
myself
know.
into a hole. Um,
It's not.
okay. And my takeaway, feel bad about the manatee. I don't know what to say about that one. That one just was like a shocker to me.
And watch
But
where you're walking. Don't slip on prosciutto because that's an embarrassing story that you have to go home and tell someone.
yeah, for sure. Stay away from the prosciutto that's on the floor. Why was there
Yeah.
prosciutto on the floor? She was probably taking
Well,
a sample and
and
dropped it.
that was the whole thing. That was like they're negligible because there's prosciutto on the floor. It was like, well, it's a meat counter. Like someone's gonna drop something.
Anyways, great seeing you.
Yeah, you too, Mom.
Have a great trip. I'll see you next
Thank
week.
you. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm leaving.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll see you Monday.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.